Hi, wir sind jetzt hier am Stand von Audient. Der Tom ist hier. Es gibt von Audient ein neues kleines Interface, 2 rein, 2 raus. We have a new interface here, iD14. Tell me a little about it.
Absolutely, thank you. Thanks, Max. So, iD14 is our new bus-powered interface. It's sort of the baby brother of the critically acclaimed iD22, which we released 2 years ago. So it has 2 console-grade mic preamps, or the full Class A preamps from the console, which is pretty unheard of in an interface of this size and price range. That was quite an engineering feat to get that into a bus-powered arrangement. So there's quite an elaborate power supply that generates bipolar voltages. We've had to move to a balanced feedback arrangement on the mic pre to get the headroom on the low voltage rails. So it actually performs incredibly well, sounds just like the console, and it's coupled to a class-leading Burr-Brown A to D converter, so about 116 decibels of dynamic range. So this thing is like premium quality in a non-premium price point, really.
So it's basically the same thing that we have in the big interface, the iD22, but just smaller?
Yeah, absolutely, yeah, and bus-powered, which is something a lot of people were asking for. So, you know, if you're on the road and you're a songwriter, it's sort of the tool for those kind of people that want to, you know, plug in a few mics, write a song, get some really good quality results that aren't demo writing recordings, you know. Whereas 22 is more of a leave it on your desktop and have multiple speakers plugged in and that sort of thing. We have full phantom power, although I'd like to note that that's only available on the DC adapter. But there's a really important reason for that. If you look at a lot of interfaces that are bus powered and you measure the phantom power, it's normally a lot.
Never get the 48 volts.
Never get 48. And by the time you plug in a hungry microphone, it will drop under load to something even lower than 20 volts sometimes. So your microphone is noisy, the capsule's not charging properly if it's a polarized voltage capsule. So we've decided to not try and break the laws of physics or try and beat them by making the quality poor. So you've got a nice solid 48 volt power supply here that's plus or minus 4 volts within the spec with the 10 milliamps. So, you know, if you've got really nice microphones, they will still sound really nice when you use them, which is really important. So we don't have any insert points on this compared to iD22. You've got XLRs and combi inputs for lines. There's a pair of outputs for loudspeakers, which again use Burr-Brown converters, and really, really pleased with the sound quality and performance here. There is still an optical input, which is great, so you can expand it. That's where iD14 comes from. 10 inputs, 4 outputs, so 2 ins plus the 8 inputs. It's bus powering, and then you have your 12-volt adapter for phantom power, which is included in the box. So phantom power switch is still nice and retro, and over on the right-hand side is like a sort of stripped-back monitor controller section. Where this is cool is we've now gone to an endless encoder. So if you select speaker, this is now speaker volume. You get a readout of where the volume is in 16 steps on the LED metering, and then after a few seconds that dies away and goes to the signal level. You can press the encoder, that's a speaker mute, so you're protected. Headphones, the same thing, and then in the middle we've got our hot new feature, which is called iD Scroll Control. And by pressing that button, this encoder becomes a virtual scroll wheel mouse. So wherever your mouse is hovering in your DAW, you can control faders, pan pots, plugins, automate, change your mix balance, close your eyes and feel it instead of, you know, drawing it in. So it's just a nice tactile thing. That'll actually control the mixer application as well. And if you don't want to use it as the scroll control, heaven forbid, you can reprogram that button to be a soft key, so you can still have talkback or sum to mono for mono checking if you mix. So it's absolutely powerful, and we've got front panel DI on channel 1 and headphone output.
Alright, also wir haben hier wirklich nochmal ein kleines Interface, was dem großen Bruder eigentlich nicht viel nachsteht. Super Preamps auch drin, einfach nur ein bisschen kleiner, ist jetzt Bus-Powered, und wie ihr gehört habt, braucht man halt damit wirklich eine solide 48 Volt Phantomspannung gewährleistet werden kann, halt das Netzteil, um dann wirklich auf die zugreifen zu können. Aber ansonsten wirklich ja auch alles dran, super kompakt und auch sehr hochwertig. We have another product here, the ASP800. So I'm just going to go over here for a second so we can see that in the camera. Also ein 8-fach Vorverstärker ist der kleine Bruder vom ASP880. Tell me a little about that. What did you do here?
Okay, so this is really the sort of partner expansion for either an iD14 or a 22. So you can choose 880 or 800 depending on the features that you're looking for. So what this has is a 70 dB gain mic pre. So you can use ribbon mics and dynamic mics and get 10 dB of extra gain. So we've used a second gain stage here. The first 2 channels are what we're calling the retro channels, and they're our sort of like proudest new features for tonal shaping, where we've taken our HMX, the harmonic multiplier, which actually is a MOSFET distortion stage, which is really sort of fat, round, 60s style tube-like distortion using high voltage Class A FETs. And then on the right-hand side of that, we've got the iron stage, which uses a small transformer, a real transformer you can see in the picture here. And that's voiced to give you that 1970s sounds like a record sheen with a little resonance at high frequencies, and it does beautiful things to transients and snare drums. So you can combine the two to get anything you want in the sort of triangle of tone between soft and hard, clean and colored, fast and slow, and you get these like wonderful changes in sort of body. And that's a great recording tool. You can use it on the DIs, on the mic pre, or you can go line input and use it for processing like samples and drum machines.
All right, so we have very versatile inputs here in the first two.
Hugely versatile first two channels. All channels have pads, 15 dB pads, so if you're recording drums you can now pad every input. And then we've got a premium A to D by Burr Brown in there, and it outputs on SMUX, ADAT and analog with a linear power supply, whereas 880 has a switch mode power supply, is lighter in weight, has insert points, variable impedance, sweepable high pass filters. So they're complementary. You could easily have all your vocals on an 880 for like tracking live and put high pass filters in to clean up the low end and stuff, and then do drums with an 800. So you could have 16 channels of Audient in two rack spaces. So it's a very powerful combination.
Very nice. Thank you very much.
Prices maybe?
No, that's good.
Prices.
We don't need prices. We'll learn prices. All right. Thank you very much.
Thanks so much.
Take care.
Cheers.